And just like that, we're back. We're going into game, let me see, we have 3 wins and 1 loss, so we're going into game 4, playing Mono Blue Tempo in a competitive league, competitive construction league. And we're trying to go for the 5-0. We got a loss already, so and I'm not super awesome at playing Mono Blue Tempo. I specialize in control decks typically, and it's pretty hard to put together a very good control deck, at least the kind I want to put together, which I have in paper, which is Esper Control, using all the Tefiris and stuff, and I need to get a lot more wild cards before I can do that. So we're grinding with Mono Blue. We're going into the next game, which is game 4, and we'll see if we can't get our 4th win here. And if it doesn't, this will be the end of the series, and we will have gone 3-2, which I'm not too mad about playing this budget tempo deck. But this deck does have what it takes to get it done. I've actually, just in my last FNM, which is the first standard legal FNM, because they always do the first week as like a sealed FNM. So last week was the first week. I was able to win that FNM, or I guess I didn't win, and me and 3 other guys or 4 other guys went 4-1, so we were all at 12 points. And I was playing this Esper Control deck that seems very good. I'm still having trouble figuring out how to get it to beat Mono Red consistently. I don't think that's a thing that you can do. But moving back to this game, we have Merfolk Trickster and Wizard's Retort, which are just a little soft combo in themselves. Mistcloak Herald and Dive Down are great if we had a Curious Obsession. We don't, but this Essence Scatter's fine. We would like to draw into a Curious Obsession, but our hand is fine. So, Watery Grave, I put this guy on playing a control deck. I am just going to play the Mistcloak Herald. I'd rather him use his interaction on the 1-1 while I don't have a copy of Curious Obsession. So this guy's definitely got to be playing this in the form of Grixis Control. Could be a mid-range deck, I'm not quite sure yet, but until he plays his first spell, I'm going to put him on Grixis Control. And then we're just going to save the Merfolk Trickster as his end of turn play. So he's not going to do anything. We are just going to flash in the Trickster here. We're just going to go for the beatdown plan, see if he has an interaction for the Herald or the Trickster. Our best top deck here is a copy of Curious Obsession. He's going to ionize it, and that's a fine spell to have ionized. There's the Curious Obsession, so we're just going to do the thing. What's up, Mistcloak Herald? Get in there and draw me some cards. Wizard's Retort. Not the greatest thing here. It works with Exclusion Mage, but I don't see myself casting that for value anytime soon. We're really hoping to see a 4th land drop. That would be great. That would put us on being able to dive down and have Wizard's Retort. And here we do just have to burn this dive down. Hopefully he doesn't have like a moment of craving or something. He doesn't. He couldn't deal with it. So we get another turn with this guy. Let's go ahead and get in for damage. And we're just going to have Wizard's Retort, I think is going to be the plan. And just keep trying to ride this and countering his spells. Essence Scatter, probably not where we wanted it to be unless he casts Nicol Bolas. Then it's fine. But hopefully he just tries to, like, Vraska's Contempt this or cast Elders Reborn on us. But Radical Idea is not going to quite do it. Now, we are in a position where if he's able to cast a copy of Niv Mizzet anytime soon, we could be in trouble still. That said, we need to keep drawing cards, and a really good way to do it is to cast this Curious Obsession. We could hold it, but we don't have enough lands to reasonably play another creature, so we're just going to try to go in with this Mistcloak Herald. Having die... Ooh, I didn't... That was just a misplay, but it's fine, because we didn't... I forgot that I used my dive down, so a little tired. But we weren't punished too bad for it. We just got countered. So the land's pretty good, because now we have Retort to back up. So that was a bit of a stumble. I don't think we're going to get punished for it that hard anyway, because I think if my opponent could have interacted with Mistcloak Herald, they would have done it when I was tapped down further. Or on my upkeep or something. Now we have another copy of Dive Down. We're just going to get in. We are not going to cast a Djinn or anything, because we would not like to be Ritualist Suited. So we're going to keep having more cards than our opponent. So that is going to be a shock. We are going to dive down and just keep trying to maintain card advantage and tempo advantage. And we're really just on the mono Mistcloak Herald beatdown plan, which I am fine doing. Because it's a shock and a card every turn, which is usually pretty good against a control deck. So we could draft this Mistcloak Herald. We'd rather just have access to our copies of Wizard's Retort as very, very situational dive downs. Chemister's Insight. We could interact with the Chemister's Insight, but then we're put behind pretty far. We would rather force them to try to interact with this, and countering it, they can just cast it again from the grave, so we're going to allow it to resolve. Because even with these draws, we still have card advantage. We'd like to start playing more mana soon, though, and drawing stuff like Merfolk Tricksters and such. He does not have the interaction, so we're going to play the land now, and we're going to get in there. So it's going to shock. Now, we could Wizard's Retort, and in fact, I think that's what we're supposed to do. He probably has a counter spell of his own, but I think I'd rather see him use it here. Burn him out of some more counter magic before we expose our Tempest Djinn to the board, so we will just Wizard's Retort the shock. I assumed he was going to counter the Wizard's Retort. Maybe he's got another kill spell. If not, we're in a really good position. Yeah, I'll take an action. Yeah, I'll take a land. That sounds great. Thank you. Did I already play land for turn? I did. That sucks. I should pay more attention to that when I'm trying to record games. So I could play Mystical Herald here. I could do a number of things. I think I'm just going to pass the turn. Maybe he tries to play Nicol Bolas or something. But I still, even if it's just the Mystical Herald, I would prefer not to expose myself to a Ritualist Suit, which he's going to cast regardless. Maybe he plays Niv Mizzet here. That would actually be... Well, he doesn't have 3 red mana, so he can't. But that'd be sweet if he did. Dream Eater. I would love to see a Dream Eater. Just because I have so many Essence Scatters in my hand, which are normally dead. Connive. So he's going to take our Mystical Herald. Well, that's about as good a target for Exclusion Mage as any. So let's try it. He's going to Essence Scatter. We have to retort it because he's going to start gaining the card advantage back. So it sucks, but we got to do what we got to do. We're going to retort the Essence Scatter. I got to be honest, I did not put him on having Connive. But we still have card advantage, so we'll see what we can get done here. And there we go. He had that Nicol Bolas at the one time where it was really sweet. I think I'd like this land for the Djinn. These Mystical Heralds are probably pretty good. Maybe we just get rid of the Essence Scatter. It's already past its prime. We already have another one, so we're going to get rid of the Essence Scatter. Hopefully we can draw like a dive down. That'd be sweet. He's going to flip this Bolas is the problem. So I think we have to overcommit to the board in this position. Because this Nicol Bolas is going to get some work done. And we're going to concede to Ritual Suit either way because this Nicol Bolas slipping is just too hard for us to deal with. We'll just keep the Essence Scatter up in case. Well, do we? Because if we play out the other Mystical Herald, we put him on a 2-turn clock still. And when he flips, if he decides to deal 10 damage, no, I think we just have to play this other Mystical Herald. That way, if he flips it and kills the Djinn, I can kill his Nicol Bolas. So basically, I need him to not have anything. And hopefully he doesn't like cast like a Ravenous Chupacabra or something where I'm like super punished for not holding up 2 mana for Essence Scatter. So he got the land, but the last 2 cards in your hand, I gotta put him on flipping Bolas. And if he flips Bolas, well, you're supposed to attack for... Well, I guess no, because there's a Tempest Djinn in your way. So he's gonna flip the Bolas, and he's probably gonna kill my Tempest Djinn. And that puts me in a position to kill the Bolas in response. No, he's gonna reanimate. A Niv Mizzet, huh? Okay. So maybe... Well, Curious Obsession isn't quite good enough. That said, I need to draw the card. So I'm going to put a Curious Obsession on the Mystical Herald. I didn't even realize he had a Niv Mizzet in his graveyard. And I'm going to... This is hard. I think I need to... Yeah, we're going to kill the Bolas for sure. And we're going to come in at him. Well, that's interesting, because if I don't... No, I think I got to do it like this. We'll do it like that. Yep, we'll take the block there. We'll kill the Nicol Bolas. Okay. So we found a soft out to that. Now we're really happy we played out all of our creatures. Very happy about that. So we're going to see what Sarkin does. Play like a land and a nickel bolus or something. That would be sweet. Okay, so we're still in the running for this. We're just going to hit him because we have to. We're now in a race. We need to get our stuff down before we can find more action against us. Chart a course. That's a start. Play land. Ritual of Suit puts us in a hard place to begin with. I'm more worried about him single target removing the Mystical Herald, and I want him to die if he does. So we're gonna play this game as if he doesn't have access to Ritual of Suit for the rest of this game 1. And we'll see what he does here. And our hookah is almost dead, so I'll need to make a new one between these next 2 rounds. If anyone has any tips or anything they'd like to see out of my streams, or I'll be doing streams on this channel as well. But if anyone has anything they'd like to see, do let me know. I'm new to doing any type of like a gaming channel at all, and this is going to be very much a Magic channel. I think I might do other types of Magic content, but maybe some other games. I'm not sure yet, but I'm definitely going to be playing a lot of Magic. So there's that. So we've got a Niv Mizzet. He's going to cast a Nicol Bolas. So we're going to lose one of our Mistcloak Heralds. So hopefully we just don't lose the second one. Maybe it was a misplay to Essence Guide of that. I don't know. If he flips it, we're dead anyway, so. Dive down is great. We're just going to get in at him. He's going to have to block the Tempest Djinn. So these Djinns have been doing a very good job at dealing with these Niv Mizzets, which I'm very happy about. So we could have dove down that Djinn, which I think would have been fine. Maybe it would have been better. But I think just protecting this Mistcloak Herald might be enough. I don't know if that was a misplay or yet not. Misplay or not yet. Play more Warkite Marauder, put him on a 2-turn clock. Yeah, I take that, I think. Unless... Yeah, we're still going to play this game as if he doesn't have Ritual Suit, because the more he draws, the worse off we are. Like, we're not going to beat him if he's able to, like, Ritual Suit and generate a bunch of card advantage anyway. I think he still has a Chemist's... No, he doesn't. He already burnt his Chemist's Insight. So now he's working with whatever's in his hand. Because in the exile pile, we have Radical ID and Chemist's Insight, which is... yay. The Eldest Reborn, that's going to definitely resolve. I'm definitely going to sacrifice Warkite Marauder. So he's doing a pretty good job at maintaining his ability to use his graveyard, which is great. Fiery Cannonade, well, yeah. He's just going to vanilla take up his Sharkin. Okay, so we're still in a pretty good spot here. We've got our Merfolk Trickster, so even if he plays something like even if he reanimates a Niv Mizzet or something, we're fine. Although we do, we're gonna just well, let's take the action first. I just remember we get to do that. Yeah, we are just gonna flash in both Tricksters in response to the Eldest Reborn trigger, or maybe we'll just discard a Merfolk Trickster. That way, if he has something like a Niv Mizzet or something, and then extra shenanigans, I'll be able to deal with it. I don't know what he could have. But we'll just end it, and we will discard a single copy of Merfolk Trickster, and we're going to make him wonder what the hell's in our hand, too. Well, let's think for a second, because if he has a Moment of Craving, all of a sudden it's not good enough. But if he has a Ritual, not playing around Ritual Suit, I don't think we have that luxury anymore. No, I think it's just better to play out both Tricksters. Maybe we get punished for this, but we got to try it. Now the problem here is if the only card in his hand is Ritual Suit, and then he wipes my board, I don't have a Trickster to flash back in, which is unfortunate. So he's going to discard a Shock. Did he draw a Ritual Suit? Nope. So we got there game 1, which is outstanding against these control decks, because we were missing a lot of tools that we wanted, but we were able to keep our Bloused Creature protected for a good amount of time. And then, just like any other control deck, what did I just bring in that I didn't want to bring in? Was it a sleep? It was a sleep. I don't want this sleep. We're going to bring in all of our interaction. Yeah. Naval Sprite is not at a premium. I think against these Niv-Mizzet decks, we are just supposed to keep in all of our interactive creatures, like Exclusion Mage, Warkite Marauder, and Merfolk Trickster. No counter spells can come out of my deck. That's just insane. Even another dive down would be fine. The creature that he did play, I couldn't even counter in the first place, and I've got Disdainful Stroke. I think Essence Scatter is just too narrow. Spell here is just fine. Marauder might be one of my weaker creatures, especially on the draw. The only problem then is how many creatures do I have if I take those out? Should be enough. That should be reasonably enough. We're going to take out the Marauders. See what type of results that will yield us. So our opponent's on Grixis. He had Fiery Cannonade in the main. Maybe he brings in like Golden Demise. Probably just more like single target removal stuff. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'd imagine he's on more single target removal. Maybe he brings in a few negates of his own because he probably knows what plan I'm on for the sideboard. Dive Down, Charter Course, Trickster, Exclusion Mage. We're playing at instant speed, but we have Charter Course, we have some flash guys, and we have ways to draw cards, which is very good. Exclusion Mage will probably be good later in the game if I need to use it to generate some tempo, so we are going to keep this hand. Although, like all hands, we wish it had a Curious Obsession. Land, not bad. We do want to develop to 3 or 4 lands this game. Or 4 or 5, I should say. So Disdainful Stroke is a great pickup. We're just going to end the turn. Using a Trickster at the end of his turn. So let's see if he wants to interact with this Trickster. I get a Trickster. Yay. Yay me. We'll just come in for 2 first thing before we even play a land. Just to give as little information as we can possibly give. Now here, there's a few things we could do. We could just cast this Charter Course, although with the extra Trickster in our hand, we're all going to be able to cast it anyway, and it would be a shame if he just went Nicol Bolas. So we will actually end the turn. There's a chance we do just want to dive down our Trickster to blink one of his removal spells, but he's just going to Radical Idea. He must have a lot of lands in his hand, because being a control player myself, even in these matchups where you're just trying to interact with your opponent as much as possible, you need to be making your land drops. So whenever they discard a land for anything, I assume that they're probably holding some extra lands. In this spot, I think I do just want another Trickster. We're just going to go for the full beatdown plan. There's a Storm Tamer. Let's just get in there. Fiery Cannonade, leaving 1 mana up. This one's definitely hard. We could easily dive down one of our guys. I don't think that's quite good enough, though. We would have to tap out to Syncopate, which means that if you played like a... Well, I guess Bolas we could just Exclusion Mage. We really wish that we could cast Charter Course here. But I don't think we have... Yeah, I don't think we're in a position to be able to do that. Because he's tapped down to 1 land, so we're going to make him pay 2. See if he tries to like, go for a board wipe next turn or something. Now I'm wondering if I should have gotten in that Charter Course earlier. So he's going to Fiery Cannonade here. Maybe I should have gotten on the Charter Course a little bit earlier, but we'll see. He's used a lot of his interaction, which is great for us. So we're just going to play a Storm Tamer, and we're going to pass holding up Disdainful Stroke and dive down. And this is how these control matchups tend to go in games 2 and 3, where you play mono blue. You try to ride one creature for as long as you can get away with riding it. And interact with them. And I don't have any interaction for Duress, so we're going to probably let him take a Charter Course. I imagine that's what he's going to take. Unless he really wants to resolve something like a Nikki B, then he may take the Disdainful Stroke. Ooh, I could have actually Storm Tamered that. Maybe that was good. I don't know if I was supposed to Storm Tamer that or not. We are going to resolve this Nicol Bolas, and we are going to discard Dive Down. So maybe we should have just countered that with Storm Tamer. That seems like it would have been a fine play. Let's... Ugh. Well, I guess he would have to recast the Nicol Bolas And if I Curious Obsess my Storm Tamer now, I'll be able to get some advantage. And I think that's just what we're forced to do in this position. Alright, so we are absolutely fine just discarding this island. Yeah, I think we messed that one up. We were probably supposed to counter with Siren Storm Tamer. And then counter the Nicol Bolas. And like, then we'd still only have Exclusion Mage, but we'd probably be in a little bit better of a spot. Maybe. Because this Nicol Bolas is going to come back down. So we're going to see a Lava Coil. Maybe he doesn't have another land. He doesn't have another land, and that's a Wizard's Retort. So all of a sudden we're not in the worst spot. And that's why we play so many counter spells. So we can get away with top decking our way out of really bad situations. Merfolk Trickster and Mistcloaked Herald. I don't see a reason why we don't cast this Mistcloaked Herald now. And we'll just end it. Tries to cast Nikki B. We will gladly retort it. If he tries to cast like yeah, Nikki B is getting retorted. If it would have been a Niv Mizzet, well, we would have Trickstered it instead. So we're at the point in the game where we're running out of ways to interact. We're actually out of ways to interact. So we are on beatdown. So we're going to try to keep him on a 2-turn clock. Trickster's great because if he plays Niv Mizzet, we can tap down the Niv Mizzet, get in for one more attack. If we tap deck something like a Curious Obsession, we can actually just win the game if that's his line of play. He would need to play another blue source. Surveil 3, then return a creature from your graveyard to battlefield. It is Nicol Bolas. Unless he like finds a Niv Mizzet, which would be very bad. So we're gonna allow that to happen, and hopefully he doesn't like surveil and Niv Mizzet into his graveyard. This is a pretty interesting strategy, though. I like being able to like get a Niv Mizzet out on turn 5. So what's he gonna do? He's thinking pretty hard about this surveil. I imagine he just wants to get the Nicol Bolas out. Although, unless he has another land in hand, we aren't at risk of him. So he surveilled nothing into his graveyard. He must love the cards in his hand. So, we're going to tap down your Nikki B. And now he needs a board wipe to get out of this. And he's already used 2 Fiery Cannonades. So we are going to gladly just get in there for 6. Hope he doesn't have a copy of Ritualist Suit or a Fiery Cannonade. Well, I guess, yeah, diving down a Mistcloaked Herald to a Fire Cannonade would be fine. He would still die to that. We'll resolve that. He has to get something really, really powerful. Basically, it's a Ritualist Suit or bust at this point. He may just concede. He concedes. Yep, we got that game. So there's our, I think that's our 4th win playing Mono Blue Tempo. And that one was... that was a little dicey at some points in that game, but I think we ended up getting it anyway just because we did what you're supposed to do in those positions where at some point you have to realize if I play around this card that will hose me no matter what I do, I'm going to lose the game because I played around it too hard. So then you just got to go all in on the beatdown plan, which happens sometimes. Speaking of Discovery Dispersal, this is a card I actually think I'm going to be playing, so I'm glad that I opened that. And we either have... no, we only have one more match. I'm either going to win it or I'm not. So I will see you right about